Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. I am happy to introduce my friend Skyla Ramirez. She's a yoga instructor in Dallas, and I've been working with her for a while. She's helped me a lot with stress management and sleeping tools, and I just find her voice very relaxing and soothing. And I'm hoping that you guys will get some skills out of this that you can actually use to help you sleep and wind down at night. So I'll go ahead and let Skyla tell you a little bit about the plan for tonight.
Great, great. Thanks, Jennifer. Hi, everyone. So let's see. I'm trying to get this lighting just right. Okay, there we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome. So in our class this evening, we are going to be coupling specific postures with different breathing techniques and little mini meditations. You can almost think of this as like interval relaxation. So what happens a lot of times when we're ready to go to bed is that our minds are going 100 miles an hour, or we've been moving around all day. And so what happens is our nervous system needs to get acclimated to relaxation. So we're going to have different poses with little miniature meditations in each pose, and you'll always have an opportunity to change positions. All the poses are done on the floor, and all of these postures are positioned that positions you may be able to fall asleep in, or positions just to get comfortable in to find your breath. So each position is unique in that it is affecting the nervous system, in particular affecting the organs in your body. We definitely want the adrenal glands to relax. We want cortisol levels to drop. Those are all stress producing organs and stress hormones in the body that we're wanting to hopefully get to pacify and also get to flush those hormones out of your body while you sleep. So at any time during the class, if something doesn't feel right for your body, if there's a position that I suggest, just know that you can get comfortable any way you want. In fact, the first pose we're starting in is the foundation pose. So you'll be able to return to that position at any time. And I will always remind you of that. Now, as we breathe, you will notice that I encourage inhaling through the nose as much as possible. The benefits of breathing through the nose versus the mouth are numerous, primarily filtering air, but there is also the benefit of breathing in through your nose actually raises or stabilizes the temperature of the air in your body so that it can be used immediately by the brain and also filtered into your bloodstream. So breathing in through the nose is going to be suggested, but you know, a lot of us have these natural structural obstructions. We might even have allergies. We live in Texas, right? So if you notice at any time that breathing in through the nose feels really challenging, then just breathe through your mouth. The main thing is to just keep breathing. All right, so let's get started. And during the class, if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to put them into the chat. We do have Kelsey, Jennifer's assistant here. She is going to be answering questions during the class, and you are welcome to put that into the chat. At the end of our class, we will have Q&A with Dr. Ingalls. So please stay logged in unless you've fallen asleep, then that's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so welcome everybody. We're gonna start lying down on our backs with our knees bent. And to come down to lying on your back, sometimes this in itself could be the biggest trick in getting comfortable. I recommend that you take your knees over to one side first, so you can reposition the weight on a hip and then slowly bring your body down. You could grab your pillow, blanket, or any other prop you have nearby. We're going to start lying down on our sides just for a moment. Go ahead and curl the knees in as close as you can towards your body. So we're coming almost into a fetal position. And this is a position that you can return to at any time during our class. This position is where we were in our mother's womb. This is the position that our body stayed in for months and months as our nervous system was creating the building blocks for our sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. So basically, our building blocks for the nervous system were created in this position, and we're able to hopefully relax a little bit more here. Now, while we're here, just start to notice your breath, and you're welcome to close your eyes at any time. But at the beginning, sometimes closing your eyes too quickly can create more anxiety. So if you want to keep your eyes open, keep the eyes open for a bit. Just start to breathe in through the nose and imagine you're breathing down into your low back. As you breathe into the low back, the breath might even move up into your middle back. It could even move up behind your heart between the shoulder blades. As you exhale, soften the shoulders, soften your middle waist and ribs, then soften your low back and hips. Inhaling in through the nose, breathe into your low back, middle back, upper back. Exhale from your mouth as if you're trying to fog a mirror. And you want the breath to be pretty audible, creating a little bit of a biofeedback loop. Inhale into the nose, into your low back, middle back, shoulders. When you're ready, exhale. Let's do a few more like this. Inhaling low back, middle back, upper back. Exhale with that ah sensation. Now, as we keep this breath, you may want to begin to just count. As you inhale into the low back, count 1, up to the middle back, 2, to your shoulders and shoulder blades, 3, and then exhale, counting back, 3, 2, 1. Practicing 3-part breath in this side lying child's position. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Pause for a moment. It's okay if your body wants to hold the breath a little bit. And then exhale like fogging a mirror. 3, 2, 1. So you could always count faster or slower. Let's take the next 3 to 5 breaths for each of us to just practice this on our own without my coaching, recruiting your own internal voice to count the breath and also to work with body awareness. Remember to move the breath into your low back, to the middle back, and then up to your shoulder blades. And then empty with that ha breath, rolling the breath down the sides of your spine. Now we could always stay here if we're noticing that this just feels really comfortable right now for the body. You do not have to change positions. And this class is being recorded, so you're not going to miss out on anything. You could always go back and watch the recording later. But if you're really comfortable, let's say you've had chronic body pain and you've just discovered comfort, please stay in that comfortable place. If you are curious to go into the next position, let's slowly begin to roll over onto our backs, keeping our knees bent, placing our feet flat on the floor. This is another resting position that you could come to at any time. In fact, we call this the constructive resting pose. From here, we can take the feet out as wide as our yoga mat. Maybe let the knees come in to touch. The edges of the feet will peel up just a little bit. This is a quick way to take tension off of the low back and your sciatic nerve. Now, if you're noticing that this position isn't creating that comfort for you, you could always keep your feet and your knees open. Let's take both hands onto the belly and we'll begin to really connect the breath in the body. As we inhale, think of lifting the navel up away from the spine, feeling the hands rising up as the belly opens with your breath. Exhale, it is effortless. We may want to keep that ha breath. Inhaling, keeping the breath as low as possible now in the lungs. So we may even think of this as a belly breath. Now, if your breath is naturally moving up towards your heart, continue to fully fill the lungs. Usually, when the breath wants to stay in your chest, that means your nervous system is still really active. It could even be a little excited or anxious. So, we don't want to rush the breath down into the belly if it's still in the heart. Encouraging the breath to begin in the belly, and maybe it stays there, or maybe from there we stack the breath up into your heart space. Exhale, relax the belly, relax your shoulders, your knees, hips, and feet. Now, as you inhale, just begin to see the color blue. And it is possible that sometimes it's really challenging to visualize colors, especially when we're stressed. When stress is in us, when we are stressed out, there are certain parts of the brain that are really active and other parts of the brain that are underactive. The part of the brain that helps with creativity and visualization is a little underactive when we are stressed out. So as you inhale, visualizing the color blue, or maybe even just sensing the presence of the color blue. As we exhale, exhale that breath like you're fogging a mirror, and imagine you're exhaling this red vaporescent energy, this warm light, almost like a fire-breathing dragon. Inhaling the color blue, the presence of blue. Blue is cool, it's light, it's expansive in nature. And then exhaling with that ha breath, red light. And that red energy, it's hot, it's contracted, it's heavy. Inhaling blue, ha breath, exhaling red. Let's practice this simple visualization with the other characteristics of the breath for the next 3 to 5 easy breaths. Now we're only into the first few minutes of our class, and already rest and digest may be kicking in. So if you start to notice sounds from your stomach, those little gurgle noises and digestion noises, this is a very good sign as our body begins to soften, as the nervous system calms down, digestion will kick in, and that's exactly what we want. Inhaling blue, exhaling red. Let's add in just a gentle movement to this. We can take our hands out to the side or keep them on your belly. And if we're taking the hands out to the side, place the palms down on the ground so that you're able to connect energetically to the earth. Also, this is a grounding energy for the nervous system. If your knees are touching at this time, I would recommend just to take them apart as we're moving into a gentle twist to wring out any toxins or any food that might be kind of stuck in the intestinal tract. Take a breath in place. On the next exhale, let your knees sway over to the right. Just the easiest sway. We may even just go with half of our effort here. On the next inhale, bring the knees to center. And exhale, let the knees sway gently over to the left. Inhaling to center. Exhaling, gentle twist. Listen to your breath. Your breath is going to be your guide. Your breath is where all of the organic intelligence is. Moving in this way, it's almost like a beautiful dance. We're choreographing the movement of the body to each rhythmic inhale and exhale. The breath is going to stay mostly up in your chest now as we're squeezing the lowest part of the lungs, squeezing the belly. The breath will naturally go into those places where there is the least resistance. Now maybe begin to deepen the twist just a little bit, not too much, just enough to where we feel that there's just a bit of effort. Continue to work with that heavy sigh or that exhale from your throat, keeping the jaw relaxed. Now notice with this sway, notice if the body has a preference, if it feels more comfortable with the knees over to the left or over to the right. And we're going to listen to the body here, choosing to stay either on the left or the right with your twist, or continue to move. So move when your body wants to move, and start to be still whenever the body wants stillness. Sometimes the key to getting a good night's rest or to working with insomnia is to move, to discharge that energy. So please only stay still if your gut tells you this is right for you. From wherever you are with this, continue to notice the breath, inhaling easy into the nose, exhale from your throat. If you're holding it on one side, I will cue you to switch sides in just a few breaths, but of course you are welcome to switch at any time. Now, before we do switch sides, just simply inquire with your body. Inquire, does your body want to do both sides? Since this isn't a traditional practice, there's no stress on symmetry in this, so you don't have to do this twist on both sides. If you are curious as to what the other side could feel like, bring the knees up on your inhale, and then slowly make that transition with an exhale to hold on the other side. You could twist just the knees, or you could roll all the way over to your side again. And of course, you could lie flat on your back. Lots of options. Staying here for maybe just another breath or two. When you're ready, let's slowly all bring our knees to center. Of course, if you're comfortable, stay where you are. With our knees at center, let's just do a quick reset on the low back, resetting the SI joint and pelvis. At your leisure, slowly lift your right heel, push off that right foot, and we'll bring that right knee in towards our chest. Bring the hands on the sides of the thighs or around the back of the thigh so that we avoid any pressure on the kneecap. From here, you can roll that ankle out in one direction. Sometimes this little bit of movement helps with restless leg syndrome in the middle of the night. Rolling the ankle in the other direction. And maybe even pausing to point and flex the foot. So not only are we discharging some energy from the feet, we're encouraging any lymph fluid that might be stuck in the ankles to drain out. You can stay on this leg or take your sweet time, and we'll switch sides. Lifting your left heel, slowly bring the knee in, holding on to the sides of the thigh or to the back of the thigh. Avoid any pressure on your kneecaps. Roll out that ankle. If you get some snap, crackle, pops in there, that is very common. The joke we have in yoga is it's okay as long as there's no bright lights, dizziness, or nausea, then you're all right. Roll it the other direction. You might notice one ankle's a little more poppier than the other. That's really common too. Come to a still point, point and flex the foot a few times. This can help to get into those connections behind your knee that also help to loosen your hamstrings, and that can help loosen your back a little bit too. When you're ready, bring both knees in, and let's take a moment with the toes pointed to extend the legs towards the sky, only extending as high as it stays comfortable for the knees and the back. Straighten the legs as much as you like, then push through your heels. So we are methodically stretching those hamstrings to hopefully ease any tension in your back. Let's roll out the ankles again. They can be in any direction, any combination of movements. Reversing out that circle, and then again, pointing and flexing the feet. Now, do this as long as you want. You might even notice that the ankles get warm. When you're ready, we'll lower the feet down nice and easy, extending just one leg out in front of us, and it can be left or right. In fact, I encourage you to let your body choose for you. This way we're able to also take care of your back. Whatever leg is extended, let that foot just kind of roll out to the side. Now, whichever knee is bent, we're just going to ever so gently let that knee come out to the side, and maybe relax that knee on the floor or put a big pillow underneath that knee. So if you have your extra pillow or an extra blanket with you, put it underneath your thigh or underneath the knee on that bent leg. From here, we can take the arms out like a T, and you're welcome to turn the palms up. So turning the palms up can sometimes not feel so comfortable because of the way that it's going to require the smaller chest muscles to stretch. And if you've had to sit a lot today, maybe you're behind a desk, or maybe you commute a lot during the day, then these little tiny pectoralis minor muscles, these chest muscles, can get really tight. So turning the palms open is meant to be a very kind way to introduce that openness in your chest. But just know that if it feels like it's causing an ache or pain in the chest or shoulder, you can turn your palms down, or you could return the hands to your belly for comfort. From where we are, as you inhale and exhale, maybe returning to the visualization of inhaling blue, exhaling red. Continue to exhale from the throat, especially relaxing the very middle of your bottom lip. Perhaps recruiting that 3-part breath again as you inhale, encouraging the belly to fill first. Let the breath move through your ribs, and then let it come up to your heart and your chest. Exhale, relax your heart, then your ribs, then your belly. Now we can hold on to the visual, or you can layer onto it, adding in a little bit of sound therapy. As you inhale, hear the sound ah. Imagine that your body is absorbing the sound ah. On the exhale, letting go of the sound ooh. Without having to make an audible sound, all of this sound is recruited from in your mind space. So as you inhale, hearing the sound ah. Exhale, hearing the sound ooh, leave from your body. Note the presence of the breath. Note the sound, the whole body absorbing the sound ah. The whole body letting go with the sound ooh. Now again, please stay here if you know that your body is really comfortable with this, and whatever position your body has chosen, it is the right place. That is your body's own intelligence. So maybe you need to stay here. Maybe you need more of a stretch in the lymph nodes on the left versus the right. If you think that you want to experiment with the other side, let's first become aware of the position of your bent knee. Take your time to slowly begin to engage those muscles in the inner thigh, to gently lift that knee. And then maybe just slide that extended leg in nice and slow so that both feet are on the ground supporting your back. If you're wanting to switch sides with this, taking our time to extend the other leg, and then slowly opening up that bent knee. And again, using a pillow, a blanket. You could even use a yoga block under your thigh. Whatever leg is extended, allowing the foot to just slowly rotate or drop out to the side. That's going to be a very natural thing for the body to do. Noticing again if the position of the arms is going to be accommodating to us. Palms up, palms down, could be a little less strain on the shoulders, or even palms on your stomach. Tuning into the breath again, tuning into how the body receives the breath. And maybe now we begin to receive the breath even lower, lower than the lungs. Sensing that the breath approaches you, this wave of energy approaching the body, absorbing it through your foot, through the extended leg, drawing the breath up through the legs, into the lungs, up to your chest. As you exhale, relax your heart, your ribs, your hips, and sense that that breath draws itself out from your feet. The breath has so many characteristics and elements of water to it. It has viscosity and buoyancy, and it moves like a tide. So as you inhale, it's like a wave washing over the body. And as we exhale, it's almost an undertow. You can feel a little bit of a pull, just like a wave-like energy pulling out to the ocean. Tune in again to the sound of ah on the inhale. Perhaps the wave is blue. And then exhale the sound ooh. That wave of energy could be red. Now, something interesting to note about our bodies when we're stressed out and when we're trying to go to sleep is that sometimes our body will tense up even more before it releases. There's actually a specific type of sensory organ in the body that is telling us to relax when we stretch a muscle, but then there's another part of the body saying tense up to support the joint. So sometimes it takes a little while for that relaxation response to kick in, for that sensation of relaxation to actually loosen up the connecting tissues. So sometimes we get a little tense before we really completely let go and relax. Just like before, if you want to stay here, please feel free to stay here. Again, the class is being recorded. You could revisit the poses later. If you'd like to switch positions, slowly begin to be aware of your bent knee. Maybe even take a hand to the knee and assist a lift to neutral. Moving nice and slow, we may want to bend that extended leg, both feet on the floor again. Checking in with our low backs, we can let the knees sway just a little bit left and right, not too much. Now, our next position does require a little bit more movement in the transition. So to safely transition, I'll encourage you to walk your feet over to the edge of your mat, to the left edge, and then you'll push into your feet. And when you do, it's going to lift your left hip. Both knees can sway to the right, and we can roll onto our sides. This is just one way to transition, rolling over in bed, protecting your back. So one of the mistakes that we make sometimes with our bodies is we'll be lying on our backs and we'll sway the knees without shifting the hips. And this causes a huge pull on the low back. So one trick to protect your back at night is to walk your feet over, completely lift and swivel your pelvis, then rotate all of your body weight to one side. Now from this position, we're going to use our top arm to come up just halfway. We don't have to come up too far for this one. Now this one's a little different. I'm going to have you take your pillow and bring it in closer to you. So if you have a longer pillow, I would say turn it diagonal. So it's a little bit by your shoulder and a little bit by your head. Whichever one you have by your head, kind of turn it diagonal. There you go. Perfect. Just like that. Now from this position, we're going to just take a breath in. And on the exhale, turn towards your pillow just a little more, just a little bit more. And you may even want to position the pillow just a little bit more diagonal instead of straight out on your yoga mat. Inhale in place, just a tiny little twist. We're kind of twisting the kidneys and the adrenal glands now. This is one that might be good to do about 10 minutes before you go to bed, because we want to kind of stimulate the kidneys just a little bit. That way we avoid any extra trips to the bathroom in the middle of the night. So this is we do other poses actually for women who are pregnant to try to avoid that. But for this in particular, you're going to work on that twist. So take a breath in and little twist, just a gentle twist. And you always want to do that exhale and twist together. It really is magical. Inhale a little bit to center. And now exhale, tiny twist, and just hold it there. Now, just in case we have some tender backs in our group today, take your left hand, so the knees are over to the right, take your left hand, reach up, and take a big breath in and reach like you're holding on to 1,000 helium balloons. We just want to get any stitches out of the ribs, any cramping out of the intestinal tract. If there's any food that's lodged there, we want to stretch to give opportunity for that to work its way out in the night. One more big breath. On the next exhale, lower the arm, twist towards your pillow, and now just gently walk the body down. And we're going to rest our body. Your head can be to the left, it could be to the right. Some people even like to put their hands in front of their body, and they rest their head on their hands. So you could have the palms down and then place your forehead on your hands. Now we're not going to be in this position near as long, although some people do fall asleep in this position. Now begin to notice the breath in the back of the body, as the breath always finds the path of least resistance. Maybe begin to notice how the breath moves under your left shoulder blade. For the next few easy breaths, inhaling, noticing the breath on the left side of the body. Pause, and as you exhale, maybe sense that breath drains under the right shoulder, out of the right armpit, out of the right lung. Breathing into the left space under your shoulder blade. Pause, exhale, sensing that this energy just simply moves out to the right, out from your right armpit. Now, truly, the breath is going to fill both lungs. But this is a practice in awareness, an active meditation in breath awareness, and just really becoming more aware of what the body is doing in response to the breath. Inhaling, sensing the breath under the left shoulder blade. Pause at the top of that breath, embrace the fullness of that breath in your body. And when you're ready, just start to feel that that breath drains from the left, out the right armpit, out your right lung. Soften the breath around any places in the body that may still be a little tense, any places that you suspect are harboring tension, just simply soften around them. Now you can stay exactly where you are. You do not have to do the other side, but if you're curious to do the other side, let's take our left hand down onto the floor and the right hand down to the floor as well. And maybe just put a little pressure in the hands, signaling to the body that we are going to require just a little physical effort for a moment. On an inhale, slowly begin to push away from the floor, only coming up about halfway. To switch sides, what you can do is turn away from your pillow and bring those knees over to the other side. Just like we did before, we'll practice that little twist first. So you inhale in place and then exhale, gentle twist. Now you may notice that the body has more or less mobility from one side to the other, and it may be that there's a connecting tissue that's tight, but really other things to consider at the end of the day is it could be because, well, your liver is on your right side, and sometimes the liver is just big, but it could also be food or undigested matter in the body that is actually inhibiting movement. So whatever you do, don't force that twist. Just a couple more easy exhales with a twist. Easy does it. You're just wanting to massage the organs a little bit. When you're ready, we introduce that extended arm, right arm up. Inhaling at the top of the breath, reach like you're being lifted by 1,000 helium balloons. On the exhale, naturally, we're going to retract a little bit. If you want, inhale one more time and reach, big breath. When you're ready, you find a big inhale and then exhale, moving into that twist, lowering the right arm down, walking with our hands alongside our pillow or prop, eventually resting the chest, and again, turning your head to the left or the right, or maybe rest the forehead on your hands. So as we're holding the pose on this side, if you begin to notice that you feel a little warm, the right side of the body with this manipulation of the liver sometimes can stimulate specific energy channels that have the potential to release iron into the bloodstream. So we have iron reserve in the liver, and then you have a different count of iron that's actually existing in your bloodstream. So as we're twisting through the liver like this, sometimes you get just a little boost of iron, and it can cause you to feel just a little boost of energy, or you might even feel a little warm. The liver is also known as a fire organ. So you might start to have just little waves of heat in different parts of the body. Just know that that is a natural response to this particular twist. As you inhale, begin to focus on the breath again, breathing underneath the right shoulder blade, and then pausing for a moment at the top of your breath, sensing that the breath drains over to the left side of your body and out of your left armpit. Inhaling into the right. Pause. Exhaling out from the left. Staying here maybe just another breath or two, taking our time to think about where the body might want to go for final meditation. So maybe we've discovered that we want to stay here. Maybe now we have that comparison from left to right. Maybe you want to return to lying down on your right side so you can breathe into your left lung. If you're choosing to move, please take your time to slowly find your hands on the floor. Take your time to slowly push up. That way we can reposition our pillows, blankets, and props to get comfortable. So if you're looking maybe for traditional relaxation pose, you could, from side lying, go ahead and lie down on your back. And I recommend putting a pillow under your knees or even a blanket under the knees. Now, in cases where maybe you know that you just feel this jittery energy in the body, this busyness in the body, you could always try taking your blanket or even an extra yoga mat is what I'm going to use right now. And what you could do is swaddle yourself. Just like we swaddle a baby, you can actually swaddle your own legs. So if you have a blanket or even a yoga mat, you just take it over your legs and wrap yourself up like a little burrito. That's it. This is it. We call this taquito pose on Taco Tuesdays. So you could do a pillow with the blanket. Any combination works. To lie down, you might want to lift your hips, use your elbows to gently rest the spine down. And again, notice where the hands are comfortable. So palms down is energetically calming for more people, but you could always have the palms up on your belly. You could even take the arms out to the side with the elbows bent. We call this cactus arms. So take your time and move around a little bit, get your body comfortable, and just know that as we're moving into meditation, you do not have to stay still. In fact, as the body is seeking out comfort, it really is natural for us to fidget and to shift and move around. So just know that you don't have to stay still if you're noticing that your body desires an adjustment. Now, at some point, we may want to explore those different impulses to move. That's a different practice. So if you know that you want to fight that impulse to move, maybe you want to study where does that energy go when I don't act on it, that is also a type of a meditation in itself. Move whenever your body wants to move. Embrace stillness when it feels right for you to embrace stillness. As we're moving into our meditation, I'm going to take us through a series of body-focused awareness, a series of points in the body that I'll be asking you to just bring awareness to. As these points in the body are named, you do not need to move these points, although sometimes they may flinch or they may pulse sporadically. Let's first become aware of the space that we're in to comfort the body and the mind. Perhaps in your mind, recollecting the lovely space that we're in today, knowing where the exit doors are, knowing the color of the walls, all of the neutral tones and lovely things around us. Notice that there are some sounds. We might have the sound of the air running. Every once in a while, there might be the sound of a vehicle passing by. As the body continues to acclimate to the space, start to shift awareness just to the physical body, noticing what parts of the body maybe are just a little heavy in the earth today. It could be the backs of the heels, the tailbone, or the back of the head. Noticing those places in the body that maybe feel a little bit light, any places where we sense space. It could be between the fingers, between the toes, maybe even the space in the inner ear. Let's begin with belly breathing. As you inhale, breathe in through the nose, simply sensing that the breath all on its own opens up the stomach area. And as you exhale, it is effortless, letting go. Breath teaches us all on its own how to let go of stress, how to let go of drama, how to let go of the to-do list, letting it go with the breath. The inhale may require just a fraction of effort. That effort is in mindfulness. Now let's work on just shifting awareness. When you inhale, you're aware of your left nostril. Exhale, aware of the right nostril. And now reverse it. Inhale, aware of the right. Exhale, aware of the left. We'll do that just a few more times, shifting awareness in the nostrils. When you're ready, breathe in through both nostrils, awareness of both nostrils. Sensing that the breath moves up, the energetic breath moves up into the very middle of your brain. As we exhale, it leaves as a single ray of white light, moving out the very middle of the forehead. Allowing the breath and this energetic pattern, moving it through the mind space to clear out the mind space a little bit, or to bring clarity to the mind space. Now please bring awareness to your left foot. Awareness of the left big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and pinky toe. Sole of the foot, top of the foot, left ankle, shin, kneecap, thigh, hip, left side of the pelvis, inner thigh, inside of the left knee, calf, heel of the foot. Become aware of the whole left leg and foot. Bring awareness to the right foot. Right big toe. Second toe. Third. Fourth. And pinky toe. Sole of the foot. Top of the foot. Right ankle. Shin. Kneecap. Thigh. Hip. Right side of the pelvis. Inner thigh. Inner knee. Calf. Heel of the foot. Become aware of the entire right leg, the right leg and foot. Bring awareness to your left hand, left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, palm of the hand, back of the hand, the wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, left shoulder and armpit. Become aware of the left arm. Bring awareness to your right hand. Thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, palm of the hand, back of the hand, the wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, right shoulder and armpit. Become aware of the entire right arm. Become aware of both legs. Aware of both arms. Front of the body. Left side of the chest. Right side of the chest. Left side of your waist. Right side. Become aware of the back of the body. Left shoulder blade. Right shoulder blade. Left ribs. Right ribs. Lower left back. Lower right back. The spine. Become aware of the spine from the tailbone, lower back, middle back, upper back, into the base of the skull. Become aware of the entire back side of your body. Aware of the front side of the body. Awareness of the face, left side of the face, eyebrow, eyelid, cheek, nostril, left side of the lips and chin, right side of the face, eyebrow, eyelid, cheek, nostril, right side of the lips and chin. Become aware of the whole face, back of the head, top of the head, inner ears. Become aware of the head, ears, face, and neck. Aware of the arms, legs, front and back of the body. Become aware of the whole body. Now, as we inhale, breathing in, feeling very light. And as we exhale, feeling heavy. Inhaling, the body expands, becoming light as a feather. Exhaling, the body contracts, heavy. Inhale, breathing in cold, ice cold. Exhale, heat. For the next few easy breaths, rhythmically in our minds, chanting, inhale, ah, exhale, ta. Only chanting these syllables in the mind as part of sound therapy. Inhale, ah, feeling the jaw relax, even feeling the very middle of the bottom lip soften. As we exhale, hearing the sound ta. You may want to take the tip of your tongue and touch it to your gum line just behind your two front teeth. This is a specific acupressure point that can help to relax the jaw. And as the jaw relaxes, we are able to work with a type of cranial sacral therapy. This can help to relax the whole body down into the hips, the pelvis, the thighs. Inhaling, hearing the sound of ah. Exhaling, hearing ta. Now maybe deepen the breath so there is just a fraction of effort. Still aware of the whole body. We may want to move our toes just a little bit. We may want to move the fingers. Now just notice if your body really wants to move. Sometimes there is a phenomenon in meditation where as soon as we hear it's over, we relax. It happens. So just know that you don't have to move right now. You can stay exactly where you are. If you think that your body is maybe ready to come up to seated, please take your sweet time, and I'd like to guide you up to seated. We usually like to wiggle our toes first and maybe bend one knee at a time, allowing your knees to sway a little bit left and right. This is a precaution that we take to make sure that the low back is protected and the hips are energized. From that gentle sway, noticing if it feels more comfortable to sway to the left or right, we can push into our feet to swivel the hips and roll onto one side, holding there for at least 3 to 5 breaths. Allowing our breath to return to that place in the low back, the middle back, moving the breath along the sides of the spine. Let's be aware of our top hand, that support that we're using to assist us up, pushing into the floor. Hang your head down nice and loose. Slowly use the hands to bring the body up and lift the neck and head last. You can come around into any comfortable seated position for the body for closing. From here, you can bring your hands together and press the thumbs into the center of the chest, drawing in a deep breath, letting it go with a sigh. Breathing in, soften. Just one more. From here, we can bow together to close. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.